Polite Society is a action comedy drama about a Muslim family, particularly the two youngest sisters in the family who are aspiring to be something in life. One wants to be an artist, one wants to be a stunt woman. Only traditions and norms and cultural norms all kind of hamper them in certain regards. Their family doesn't support them in these endeavors all that much. So one of them gets into an arranged marriage and the other sister really isn't. To say much more about that is really getting into spoilers. But I will say this film excels at the exploration of the Muslim culture, and it explores the ways in which certain norms are established and where certain norms perhaps should be broken down in certain regards. That's what this film does well. It has a lot of themes and messaging that it doesn't hammer in. It's just there. You are experiencing very normal things and it's not really saying anything that is too heavy-handed. It's very good in that regard. But that's all under the surface. On the surface, the story is a little silly. And that's, I think, the biggest weakness of this movie, is that it constantly just gets sillier and sillier. It's trying to be funny, it's trying to be comedic, it's trying to be an action movie, while also trying to be this grounded, believable family comedy in certain regards. And it doesn't always mesh very well, I don't think. Towards the end of the movie, I just completely lost interest because it just went bonkers. And yeah, all the story makes sense, it's just, it didn't start off as this thing and it ended as this thing. So yeah, it's a weird thing. The cast and the characters are fantastic though across the board. Each of them is very likable and engaging. The core group who's trying to break up this wedding is very fun. They've got a lot of chemistry together. I like the diversity of the cast too. The fact that it isn't just all Muslim people, it is just white people, there's black people, there's lots of different ethnicities in this movie, lots of different races and religions, and they're all getting along. And there's no commentary at all about what makes these people different, or that they are different races, that they are different religions. None of that matters in this movie, and that's really refreshing and really nice. There was a recent film about an arranged marriage where the culture clash element of it was the key part. That's not the case here, and I like that. As an action movie, this is where Polite Society really falls down, in that the action scenes just aren't very good, if I'm honest. I don't like the choreography. I don't think there's a degree of excitement in the way that these scenes are edited and filmed. You can tell that the actors are doing pretty much everything that they possibly can, but at the end of the day, they're not stunt people. They're only capable of so much. They're clearly not trained as well as they ought to be for these action scenes. So the action scenes are a weakness of this movie, and the fact that there's a lot of them does hamper things again. The sound, the score, the music is fantastic. The sound design, the use of sound effects, the use of music, the use of score is really well done. It amps things up, it adds some excitement, it adds a little fun element to it. The editing as well, the way the presentation of this movie, the direction of this movie, it's got a lot of character and charm and personality. You can tell that this is a person who has a vision. I don't like all of that vision. Like I said, the story element of it I do think goes into silly territory. But I do appreciate that this person has a personality that they're putting onto the screen here. So that regard, it works very well. It makes for a very charming, fun and likable movie, even if you don't vibe with everything going on. So, Polite Society, for the most part, well made. It's just the action scenes don't quite work out. The story, on a personal level, I think goes very silly towards the back end. And some people are going to love that. Some people are going to find it all twisty and turny and fun. Personally, not for me, but to each their own. I do think there's an audience for Polite Society. I do think a lot of people are going to really like Polite Society. I think it's got a lot of charm, a lot of personality, a lot of style. But there are some deficiencies in certain regard, perhaps due to the budget. It's not a huge budget movie, let's face it.